Version 10 is out. And once again, I'm doing post commentary because I didn't want to get distracted while checking all this out again. One look at the boss from that pick, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm probably going to want to focus. So yeah, immediately noticed the new teleportation effect, and I was like, okay, that's a nice touch. And then boom, straight into the new hole. Was just checking out the armor too at that point, because I was like, are there any changes to this? And I heard something about a tattoo, but I didn't really see anything. And I thought it said the legs were cut off too, but yeah. Messages, welcome, and stuff. Steam page, and Discord. Yay, do the things. Congratulations for self-acknowledgements. And then, yeah, wandered over there to see what list that was. Beta 3 veterans, we salute your time given for the sake of this game. So yeah, at this point I was just looking around, trying to see what's what. And over here we have the new menu, which I thought looked pretty cool and was intuitive. Noticed all the new weapons, and I noticed the mods that I had weren't loaded in, but I suppose that's a thing to figure out later. And they'll need to figure out how to delete those too, because, well, that'll probably just help. I took a look at all the new weapons and tried to figure out how to disable them, and yeah, quite a few new base weapons. It kind of seemed like a lot at first. I saw some of them via clips, and I was kind of curious, so looked into them. Anyway, I'm kind of reviewing this footage as I go along, so there may be some cuts here and there, so I might make a cut now, actually, because most of this is actually pretty boring in terms of looking at the menu. Hey, chicken out, I did cut the footage, what did I tell you? So at that point, I had figured out all the stuff from the menu, and was once again taking a look around at different things. Notice the menu was changed for the settings deal, and that the UI was a little different. So I was just wondering where I was supposed to go for the actual missions. And of course I noticed the other billboard, and I was just like, oh yeah, that must be it. I immediately decided to enter the sandbox because I thought, wait, there was supposed to be a new venue for this. And lo and behold, there it was. I was like, well, ooh, yeah, this looks sick. Essentially it's the same proportions and other stuff. But what was weird and what you won't see from this footage is it apparently alternates between the two, and I wasn't sure how to feel about that or if there was a way to change it. So I figured I'd try fighting against some of the new goblins, except I realized that I never actually loaded up the newer goblins in this case. But I guess you could call it more so of a weapons test. So, yeah. As you can tell with the hand stuff, I was thoroughly impressed with the new look of all the different buttons. Definitely fits the aesthetic, except maybe for the text used. That would be my only thing. So then it's just like, okay, how do these new weapons look? Got the Ruel dagger there. Definitely one of my personal favorite new dagger designs, for sure. Just checking out the damage, seeing what that would look like. And then the arming dagger. Essentially the same thing, but it looks different. Weapons felt good, and then I was trying to figure out where to put them, so then yeah, not great. Well, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. So then I took a look at some of the new swords, trying to figure out what I liked, because, I don't know, I always just prefer swords over other weapons mostly, unless I'm doing a challenge in which I don't have to use one. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just like the elegance and the finesse of swords. Got a good look at the arming sword. Don't know if the models were custom made or something else for this, but definitely good design. Good. Well, you can't exactly feel something you can't actually hold IRL. I wasn't sure what was up with the lawn falchion and that little thing on the one side. I want to say from a historical standpoint that would be some sort of crossguard-like deal. And while I want to call myself a sword expert, but I like swords a lot. And I know what it is about them, but I do. Buster swords, master swords, fusion swords, the Moonlight Rage sword, which has definitely become one of my new favorite mods because the abilities just remind me of like Cloud Sword or whatnot, and I would totally use it in like a Final Fantasy VII-ish challenge run with like magic stones as materia, and either the Buster Sword or the Fusion Sword, except the Buster Sword feels a little too large. Like the Fusion Sword seems like the more proper height. No offense to the guy who made it, I would just call it a personal nitpick. And I know. And then of course here's one of my other favorite new swords. The Irish Longsword. Crossguard seems a bit long, but hey, that's what it would probably actually be from a historical standpoint. So yeah, liked it too. Shoved it on the back. Looked over to see if there were any other weapons I was interested in trying out or if I missed any. And then I wondered about the spells and the whole upgrade thingy. Spoilers, I never figured out how the new upgrade system worked for any of that. I don't know if anyone else has any ideas about how that works, but what I did notice is that the trail effect for it had been updated, and I was kind of messing around with that. It seemed nice. And by that point, I was ready to begin first bout, in a sense, to go up against the newly designed Goblins. Ready, set, go! Any day now! Attack! And yeah, as you will notice, I don't play with highlights on because, you know, I just don't care for gore and all that, so take that how you will. I already mentioned that in the last video I made on this, so for those of you who have been paying attention, you shouldn't be surprised. For those of you who haven't, hi, by the way. And, yeah, that's why. I just kind of prefer colorization because Star Wars and whatnot, and man, I'm not sure how to feel about Star Wars. But that's a whole different can of worms, and a lot of people are already covering the tips, so it won't be anything new if I tried to reach out on that. And also, I don't know if I'd ever want to try and make this a long-term thing, but that's more of a me problem, not a you problem. I'm just glad you're here. Oh yeah, those were the Goblins. So yeah, I was getting used to their attack patterns, and trying to remember how to properly throw a fireball. It's getting a little overwhelmed, and then I think later on I switched to the Irish Longsword. It's just like, I need more damage! And I need to learn how to deflect more. Yeah, despite me having a mainly good knowledge of how to deflect, I apparently still have a long way to go in terms of solidifying that. Or maybe that's just me not learning after, I don't even know how many hours at this point. But I have been with this game for, I don't know how many months. I would have tried Blade and Sorcery first, but I was almost gonna use a catchphrase there, but I'm not sure if it would fit. But just for the sake of it, I'll say what I was thinking. I'm broke, Curtis. There you go. So basically, the point was, no money. What else is new with people in the economy? Another story. And not important. And then there was a straggler over there. Don't know how he got caught in there, but yeah, apparently that was the thing. So I decided to just burn him once I actually hit him. Oh. I did not realize my health bar was pulsating there, but it looks like I took more damage there than I thought. Huh. Yeah, I guess I really did make it out of it by the skin of my teeth. Just found out about that or whatever. So I figured the next viable thing to do would be to try and head for the new boss in the dungeon. So, to Maze 2, let's go. I was wondering if anything would change with like the halls or whatever. And for those of you who have played it, you probably already know the answer. It's probably fine that nothing's changed yet, because it still looks fine. Oh wait, actually, some things did change. Who am I kidding? The Curse and Blood statues. Different. See? New intriguing design. And a curse that I didn't like to utilize. Durability upgrade. Very important, especially in terms of magic items. Like that. Like increased durability on the wind sword. Nice. I don't know, I just like swords. I like the wind sword's property. So there's that. Totally not biased at all. So of course, I went on my weary way in the dungeon. Yeah, I admittedly sort of get a bit of some fights. I prefer it to be one-on-one, but that's just not the case. It's the gauntlets they usually get. But you'd probably know that if you saw my other video back when I was doing the beta test. What was it? Version 7? I forget. I was also kind of noticing with the skeletons too, their new armor, and yeah, it fit. And you got the mighty bow! It does stuff. It doesn't do new stuff as far as I know, but it still does stuff. And the stuff it does do is a lot of damage! Especially if you get charged headshots. Granted, I'm not consistent with quick shots with the bow, but still, when I get it lined up, I can hit them pretty good, but not great, but not terrible, like a lot of my skills in this game. And then here, you will see the first example of me getting used to the new physics stuff or whatever. It felt like some of the colliders weren't working properly, or I was just aligning myself wrong, and the swing mechanics have definitely changed. Apparently jumping off of those wall run boards now gives you a lot more momentum, so in some cases you can jump through those relatively early and still make it because you get excess momentum. So, I guess you could call that a pro strat for speedruns now? In that case, maybe I didn't have to deal with that guy. But I did. Because it felt like it. And his face was ugly. Later! And some say his remains were still there, following the aftermath of the battle that ensued. Okay, maybe that doesn't make sense. The Goblin Walls definitely felt like a nice step up, and they definitely fit better with the skeletons, for sure. I don't know why some people are like, nah, if it's just nostalgia, or if they like people using stock models from, what was it, Sketchfab? I know they were originally found from Sketchfab somewhere like a mods, because, I don't know, they all just look good and with proper cred can fully be utilized for mods. For example, the Moonlight Greatsword and the First Ruby, and a whole bunch of other stuff that is under Uppin creation and whatnot. Can't say I've thought about trying making Battle Talent mods myself. In terms of Unity projects, I've mainly stuck with VRChat, which some stuff from my experience in that game may or may not be coming out at some point in the future. I don't know, though. Or, at the very least, no promises. My summer's kind of, booked. Marching on through, taking a relatively decent amount of damage, but still marching on.
Yeah, gotta feel that rhythm going in a battle. And then charge in like a Coney bull against the forces of Atanui.
Please tell me someone got that reference. Bionicle is not bad by any means. It's just either. And no, I ain't talking about that G2 craziness. The set design was good. The story was bad.
Don't fight.
Yeah, tell that to the fan base. And here you can see a fine demonstration of my bad skills with the bow quick draw. It's not that I can't hit shots consistently, it's just that I can't do it in quick succession. So don't judge me, please, or do judge me. Use judgment, Arceus! Oh wait, is it Arceus or Arceus? I don't know. Some of the commercials for the card game didn't exactly make that clear. It was just like either Arceus or Arceus! And it's a real thing. I'm not a big enough Pokemon fan to care, so, take that out of your way. And look! The Goblin bought me a present. It's the last parting gift before I cleared the... I forget what I used to call these rooms, like trial rooms, challenge rooms. But yeah, Thunder Sphere. And I think the thunder finally works a little better, but I can't be too sure. It used to not work as well, I want to say, due to something bad. I don't know what it was. It was a shame, because I also liked using the thunder spell. But looks like it's going to be fine soon, so that's nice. But yeah, Thunder Spear for the win against those two skeletons. And a bit of an inventory problem. But it got fixed. Yay! And then, yeah, as you can see, the whole momentum thing can really throw you off at first. Or at least it did for me. Granted, it's nice having to think a bit more about tactics, as with any change in a game like this. Oh yeah. I was wondering what was happening with that ice blade. It's just like, wait, but it doesn't look like it's piercing you at all, so then how do you... It's fantasy, whatever. We can get away with whatever we want. Unless it's really intimate and the lore is cohesive and well thought out, and trying to change it would amount to incurring the wrath of a fan base. How many years old?
Looking at you, Lord of the Rings, Amazon.
Granted, I don't know much about the Silmarillion period, but I know enough that trying to... I mean, I guess since there's not much to commentate in terms of this game, I may as well just come out and say it. Forcing equality into something without aiding the narrative really doesn't get you brownie points at all. Like, if lore for something is already well thought out, so that one thing cannot exist or is not known to exist, then yeah, you'd have a problem with all the nerds who have devoted their life to maybe even learning Elvish. Can't say I know anyone who knows Elvish. There are definitely people who know Elvish, such as some of the actors themselves, I'm pretty sure, who worked on the Lord of the Rings series. Mad props to them and the entire crew. Seriously, those films will forever go down in history as being some of the best creations in cinematic history. Long sword upgrade. Yay. More damage and stuff. MP up for more charge shotness. And my health was pretty low. Not proud of that. But also not... Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be surprised. And then a normal bow from a chest. I was wondering if the model looked different for a second, but I don't think it did. And I was just like, really? Would you want me to trade this in for the other thing? No, forget it. I got me a mighty bow and a decently large pool of MP. No, I'm not gonna stoop that low. Oh no! Enemies! What will I do? Apparently launched my sword into a pool. Oh wait, that's what I was gonna do. Right, and there's your head. Later!
You wanna go hit me, Trap? You wanna go hit me?
Yes. And this is when I first really ran into those level 2 goblins. Or really got to get acquainted with their attack pattern. And again, you see that I'm terrible at quick draw and slow with Again, a me problem. I tried, okay? And then I broke my bow, as you can see. Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. So at that point I was just thinking, okay, maybe I can use the ice blade to alleviate the pressure by freezing some of these guys until I can figure out a better balance. And then guess what? Small felt sheet, so I decided to try messing with that. And I did. Very glad I go with that. I saw the goblin level 2's power insane. Or are they level 3? Point is, they're strong. As you can see, I was not prepared for their flankiness, and also I was low on health, so that didn't help. So, yeah. Clearly I was not prepared. But then I also wondered if it was because of something else that may have happened, and it turns out, right, I didn't have things on in terms of making me be stronger. So I turned those on and tried again. Yeah, I probably will have to since it's a while before I enter the dungeon again. I'll meet you when I make it back to that arena place, since I imagine the rest of this wouldn't be too interesting anyway. Oh, look! And once again, I start with an ice wand! What are the odds? Anyway, see you when I'm at the place. Hold up, I have to stop at the system. What? Another ice rod? Wand? Thing that make it the blade of ice that frees the people? Yeah, I couldn't believe it all either. I was used to it. But I did get these anyways, moving along. Back again to the room that fell him once before. Can he conquer this? Or will he die again? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Ultimate 358 over 4.2 months. Or, in this case, right now. At that point, I figured I'd just leave it. So I, borrowed a Goblin's backsword. Ooh, that's satisfying. Clang of steel, even though it was ice, in which case I didn't even clang. More goblins! And skeletons. Basically a whole bunch of monsters! Yet I was unfazed even as I tanked hits like a mediocre fellow. Except that one. And then my ice wand almost broke. That's fine, I have another one just for such an occasion. And there's some damage for you, and some damage for thee, and apparently some more damage for me sometime in the future, I imagine. I don't stink. We all do. I don't know where your skill set is. Maybe you're just me! Please tell me you are so that I can make myself feel better. Said some person somewhere, I imagine. With ice, it was a lot easier to dispatch these guys. Although granted, at some point I should get more used to their attack patterns because, you know, there's the whole thing of getting good. And then I, took out my frustrations on them. Yes, you have every weapon you need. Except the weapons you don't have, but you have everything you need. But then how can you say you have everything you need? If you're like, I don't have everything you need.
Shut up, Charles!
Oh look! A blessed statue! Except I don't need to be blessed because I never took on any curses, so I was like, what's the point? And then I tried to climb with those bag swords and clearly did not think that through. So... Blades of Ice! Because that would totally work IRL.
Climb! We must climb!
Rise above your standing!
Up, two, up, two, and jump.
And that is how you do it!
Health. Relief.
Except I think I already had full health at that time, but I forget. Regardless, it's always good to use them, even though you... Well, actually, it isn't good to use them if you don't need it, because then it's just like, wasteful! What are you thinking, child? And then guess what? More level 2 goblins. Level 2 goblins. Point is, they're nasty, and I was a little fearful of them, to be honest. I figured what might be good is to try and single them out, and then go into their attack pattern. By just trying to go one-on-one with them. Which I tried. And yeah, the attack pattern definitely throws the guy off at first. Or at least, it did to me. I know a whole bunch of other people didn't, because on the Discord survey... Because on the Discord survey after this, for those who are not tuned to the Discord survey, they asked, was the new boss hard, or do you like the new Goblin level 2's attack pattern? And the first one was, no, they did not think it was hard, and yes, they liked the new attack pattern. So clearly, I'm just an evidence. Or they're just very good at exploiting the I don't know. I try and do things legit for most playthroughs, and yet I meddled around with Excalibur for a little bit. And I've also taken out bosses with very high damage weapons, such as the like Great Sword and Bersergi. Or Fusion Sword. I mean, I usually call it a Fusion Sword, so who am I to talk? More upgrades for Ice Wands. Ice Wands will be upgraded and just... Knight's Spear. Its charge thing felt a little bit different to me, so I'm not sure what was up with that. Eventually I figured out, oh wait, if you want to move after this, then you'll kind of want to change the other stuff. Then I forgot, oh wait, right, this is the final room. I might want to actually pay attention now. Tried wailing on this guy and getting his attack patterns, and for the most part, didn't do great. Yeah, moves. Some of the attack pattern feels the same. For the most part, I did well, and then I forgot the goblin behind me, so then I tried to take care of him, and I did with an airstrike, so he was all the way back over there. So at that point, I was just trying to draw this guy out, so that then I could try and take him on, and then I decided to go for a couple more ice plates, because I was not comfortable with trying to take him head on all over again, and then a knife got me a full of things. So, yeah. Clearly, I still have a lot to learn about that guy, and by that point, I was pretty much ready to give up. So I did. Anyways, with that, I hope you enjoyed whatever this was, and I'll see you whenever I feel like posting anything again, I guess. As I said, right now this is one of the lower priorities in my life, so whatever, but hooray for being not dead, I guess. I don't know, you decide that for yourself. Later!